Good morning, guys. We'll give everyone a couple minutes to hop on here and we'll get started. Sorry, I was muted. How's everyone's weekend going? All right, show of hands. Who's the first time on here? All right, perfect. We will go ahead and get started, and that makes it easier because you both are first time for the coming on the 101. This is normally would be a 101 class, but we'll do a 101 class today instead of the 102. 102, guys, so you guys know in the future too, is you come to them a couple times and you gradually don't need to come anymore. But if you ever have any questions regarding our platforms or follow up boss or any of those, come on here and we can chat about it if we already haven't talked about it. Okay. So that's what these classes are going to be for too, for you in the future. All right. Well, we'll get started here. So you probably heard some of this, but we're going to start from the beginning here and go through everyone's platforms here. All right, everyone, if you're able to turn your cameras on so we can look at each other instead of us just me looking at myself. And also you put your hands down until we have some questions. All right, we'll share this screen here. Oh, you had a question, Lori? Or all right, you put it down. All right. All right, we're gonna get started. So first I just want to kind of show you our new deal template, you guys. I'm gonna just kind of look through it real quick, but I just want you guys to know for every locations, there are new deal templates for the, Ohio, Texas, Florida, wherever you're at. Once you get something on your contract, there's a new deal template. Depends on your location. In Florida, we got Caitlin here that will help you. If you're in Texas, Eric will help you out. And in Ohio, Angie will help you. But just know that this is here for when you get a deal that you need to put this in ASAP once you get an executed contract. What this does is lets our office staff and everybody know what the pertinent information is on this deal. So they're not reading through all the contract work for compliance. We will do that. But what we do is we get emails started for you. We get timelines set up as reminders for everybody. That you'll get reminders regarding your escrows, inspection periods, closing dates, and final walkthroughs. So we get all of that information off here, and we get how we start your DAs and how you're going to get paid off of here. So make sure your prices are right and percentages are right. And when this gets inputted, guys, I know we all kind of use command still a little bit, and we don't need to use it as much moving forward if you're on the team, because just to write your contracts and get stuff signed. After that, everything's executed. Our office staff will make you a transaction in command, an opportunity in command, and will upload all the documents for you. They will send out any of the broker docs that are needed. For each brokerage is different. You know, your Keller Williams documentations that every transaction has to have. They'll send those out pertinent for you. The TC will not do contract work for you though and write contracts. That ultimately falls on us as a realtor. And I would hate for you to have a TC write your contract and she does the verbiage wrong, and it's your license that's in jeopardy, not the TC. So any contract work you need to do yourself. She'll help you chase signatures and initials down as needed. So if you're missing some initials or signatures, not a problem. She'll ask you up front first, like, hey, do you have this document that's executed? Because sometimes we do send the wrong ones in, which is, you know, we're all guilty of it. I have. And if I send the wrong one in, I'm like, oh, sorry, Kim, here, let me get you the right one that's fully executed. If I don't have it, I'll say, hey, Kim, can you get the buyer or the sellers to finish, you know, get the signatures or initials, whatever needed, or a listing agent or a buyer's agent. She will chase those down so you're not sitting there chasing those down. And we can get you all that, what the TC roles involved. But really important, I mean, the main thing to fill this out is you need to put your name, your locations that you're at, the full property address, including the zip codes, what type of property it is that's going under contract. This helps us with compliance on the back end, make sure we get the right documentations for you. The buyer's name, seller's name. I'm going to go through this quickly. Once you get under contract, Caitlin will help guide you through it, or Eric or Angie if you need help. When you put your client's name in here, if there's two buyers, you're going to put the first one there, then you're going to press enter and it will go on the second line, okay? Same thing with their emails. Whatever the first line is matches the second line, press enter and go to the next one, okay? Same with phone numbers. You have a listing under contract, just for compliance, we need to have the buyer's name that's on the contract. If you're getting Zillows, and if the Zillow Flex or preferred lead, just click here, yes or no. And then down here is where you're going to really tell us where the lead came from. Because it could be no with a Zillow Flex preferred, but it could be an old Zillow lead that you're calling, or a paid market Zillow, and then you just click here. But if it's a majority of us are getting Flex, unless you're working old leads still, which they are in the lead pool, and I'll show you how to get there later. You don't, if it's a regular Zillow, you're not paying referral fees to Zillow. It's just the team contribution. Then wherever else you got lead, you put it there. Make sure you put the execution date. The execution date is the day that everyone signs and initials and gets returned back. Inspection end date. This is for Florida. Ohio is a little different. You'll see yours on here, but we want to know when the inspection end date is, because that's when you need to have everything tidied up by then. Same with the closing date. When that is, you're going to put the purchase price. Now for title, lender, and loan, or title, lender, and the listing of the buyer agents, make sure you're putting their name, phone number, and email, okay? Name, phone number, email. We need all three of those for these. This is, you'll see when they set up emails, and then corresponding to them, we need to know that information, okay? And then put in the loan type. When you're coming to the Keller Williams transaction fees, unless you're in Texas. Is anyone on here from Texas? Raise your hand. All right, so in Texas, you won't have a transaction fee, okay? So your document won't have this on here because it's not customary in Texas, but the rest, everybody else, you're gonna either tell us whether the buyer's paying the transaction fee. We call it the buyer agent. I know when we used to have transactions on MLS, you used to see 3% minus 495. That's what that means, but it needs to be reflected on your compensation agreement. If you're charging the buyer agent. And technically you're not charging them, you're just giving them $4.95 less out of the 3% or 2.5%. Sell, if you're paying it for your client, great. I pay it for some of my clients. So you just put that you're paying it, or listings, the seller's paying it. If it's VA or new construction, put this one because sometimes VA allows it, sometimes not. And same thing with construction. Sometimes they allow the fee, sometimes they don't. And we'll look into that and find that out. If they don't allow it, they just send us a waiver and we figure it out. Showing assistant fee or agent referral. If you're getting a referral from an agent, put in here their name and what the referral amount is. If you're utilizing the showing assistant, put in here who your showing assistant is and the fee that you're paying them. Minimum is 10% for a showing assistant fee. If they're showing more than 15, you're giving them 15%. The more they show, you can give them a little bit more. And you can be showing assistants also. We'll go into that and how to show that and Follow Up Boss. Then you're going to put your compensation commission amount here, exactly as it is on your EBBA or your seller or buyer to broker agreement, okay? And then who's paying, a seller, broker, or buyer? Other is if you're getting a percentage from the seller and a percentage from the buyer. Write that out. 1.5% from the buyer, 1.5% from seller. Okay. Then we want to know who you're representing here, and this is just helps us for compliance purposes. Now notes to the admin. Let's say we have the seller property disclosure back, but it's not fully initialed by everyone. You can type in here, hey, Kim, can you get SPD initialed by the seller or the buyer? If you have anything that needs a couple initials, or just say, hey, you don't have one of the addendums yet. You can put a note in here so she doesn't bother you to get it. Be like, hey, addendum, I'll email over to you here shortly, or once the email chain starts, I'll get an email to you tomorrow. So then she's not bothering for it. We put the notes in there so she knows. And then you're going to come down to the next section. This will automatically upload to you where you need to be, whether you're under buyer or seller. These are all the documents that you will need, pertinent to by the boxes you checked up top. Any questions on the new deal template? All right, I just want kind of you guys to know it's out there, and your mentor and your team lead will help you as you need it, and you'll fill it out. All right, so next I want to look at your guys' Zillow profiles to see how they look, and we kind of go over how to make them better where we need to be. All right, let's look. Who is the 407 number ending in 89?
Hi, Shamprala Art.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Laura.
No, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Okay, no. All right, Shamprala. What location are you in?
Dr. Phillip.
Dr. Phil. All right, we'll look at you here first.
Okay.
Do you have a Zillow profile set up already?
I just set it up.
Okay, so all right, so we'll get you invited today. So we'll go over the next one. Anyone else here from Orlando area, Winter Haven?
Laura Rextra. I'm from Orlando.
All right. Have you set up your Zillow profile yet?
I do have it, but I do have it from a different company. I'm just a transfer from Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, so
we're
they gotta
trying.
release you. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the whole transfer.
Okay. Well, what I'll show you guys here just real quick is and then we'll go Sandro, I'll look at yours next there in Texas. But so what we want to have, you want to have a good profile picture. You want to have a good shortened kind of sweet bio. You can ask ChatGPT to write this for you, but one thing that's very important, guys, when you ask ChatGPT to write these, when you put them into your Zillow or your Google profiles or any other profiles, don't copy from ChatGPT and paste it. Type it out. Now, the reason you don't want to copy from ChatGPT and just put right in here, there's little watermarks with ChatGPT. So what happens is that there's a watermark, ChatGPT doesn't utilize that information as real source information because it wrote the information, right? It's like us looking into a mirror. I can't look at myself and my information I give, I can't use that as validation for the other. So if you don't do the watermarks, so just type it out. Because what it does, if it asks for a great realtor in Central Florida, it's going to skip over my Zillow profile if I just copy and paste in there, right? Because it wrote it, so it's going to go to somewhere else and look for it. Same thing for your Google and different things like that. So make sure you're not copying and pasting from ChatGPT. Just type it out. Does that make sense? All right, and then you're going to put in your specialties, and I'll show you where to put all that. And then when you come down here, this is how clients and other agents see us and find us, is by our service areas. The service areas as in counties and cities. So make sure you have your counties and cities in here. That's how they find us in Zillow. If they type in, they want to see a client, or if they want an agent in Dundee, Florida, I will pop up, right? So that's why you want to have your city and counties in there. You also want to have your zip codes. Zip codes is how Zillow finds us because they can find us down to the pinpoint, right? We can't, clients don't know zip codes a lot of times, so it's a broader range. So when you're looking at adding your zip codes and everything, you need to go to your edit button here and just profile. In your agent info, you're going to add it to your service. You see, we have a lot of zip codes on our team for Florida here just because we have a lot. But you're going to add your service areas here. Type them out. You got to do one by one. I know it kind of sucks, but just do your zip codes here and your areas you cover with cities and counties. Okay. A little thing you can do to see if you're completed your profile, look over here and it will guide you, and you can just click on this. If you need to add a photo, you click on there, it takes you to exactly where to add your photo. Okay. So click over here. One thing I challenge you all of you guys to do is get reviews, right? And they need to be real reviews. They just can't say good or bad. You know, good, great agent to work with. They need to be more and you can have a review from an old lender, inspectors, past clients, even in another state, past clients, have them write your review. And to get a review, you know, you can always request a review through here. You can request it. And then what you do is when you, hold on one second. When you come in here to request the review, I want to show you what I do here because, well, maybe. You can request the reviews by typing in here everyone's, hold on one second. You can do our reviews. You know, you can type in here their email addresses and send that to them. But a lot of people have Zillow as spam or blocked or something like that. I have it saved to my phone. I copy this link, I email it to myself, and I save it to my phone. So with that, with this link, I'll text it to them. I'll text them this Zillow review link from my phone because everyone has text messages, right? And they see it. So I just copy the link and send it to them. That is the easiest way to do that. Yes, Laura.
Is there a way that when you get these reviews, can they like spread to all the platforms like Realtor.com, Trulia, all of them, or just are gonna be just part of Zillow only?
It's going to be part of Zillow. I think there are systems that you can pay for sometimes, but a lot of times, like the reason is Google, you can get a lot more reviews out of, right? Zillow, just so you guys know, a person can only write one review with that email address, whether it's to you or anybody else. So if they already wrote a review for someone else, ask them to please use a different email address. So that's why Zillow does not have near as many reviews as like Google and these other ones. So yeah, they don't interchange because they all these platforms want the people to go to their website
Okay.
and be there. So they want to have them do their reviews through there. I wish it was easier like that, but I haven't found an easy button for that.
But in this case, do you suggest to? I understand that we're gonna be part of the like Zillow Premier Agent, but in general, do you suggest that besides asking for reviews in Zillow, just ask our clients to have reviews in Google as well?
Yes, I would say do them on Zillow and Google are your biggest platforms to have reviews on.
Okay.
We do have a system that I'm working on now for Google reviews for you guys that you guys can set everybody up in, where as soon as someone gets under contract or if some, because when you get under contract, I have it where it sends out an email to them asking for a review. Because when you first get under contract, you're happy, right? So that's the first time to get a review for Google. And then when you close or um, during inspection periods or, there's a couple of triggers where we ask for Google reviews. And I'm working on a system to follow bots to set those up automatically for us. So when we move them through our stages, it automatically sends out. So we don't have to remember all the time to personally send them out ourselves. So we're working on that right now. But yeah, Google's a good one. You should be able to get, 2 to 3 reviews out of each client at different stages.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
but yeah, Google and Zillow are your biggest ones. I get clients or even other agents, 3, 4, 5 a year, and Matt gets even more because his Google profile, older and longer. That agents call him like, hey, will you help my client here sell a house, or will you help my clients buy? Because they have great reviews, and if they don't know anyone in the area, and if they're not a Keller Williams agent, we can look through Command. They look through Zillow and everybody's profiles to see who they want to, send to. And a lot of them will call you, and if you don't answer, they call the next one. That's why I always answer my phone. And now you're talking about reviews now and referrals. I was just going to show you one thing, guys. I put on mine, so when an agent reads mine, they know I'm giving them a 30% referral fee if they send me a client. And the reason I put that there, a lot of agents feel uncomfortable asking for a referral fee or asking what the referral fee is going to be. So this kind of eliminates that wall. So they're more than likely, when they see me that I'm already offering, they're going to call me before someone else where they don't have to have that conversation. So I try to break down those barriers for people, reasons why they won't call me. So that's a little thing I put in. You can put whatever you want. I do 20, 25, 30, 35. I've changed it around. 30% better number to me right now. Just I leave out there. All right. We'll sign up and we'll look at yours. Are you already on the team, Laura, or Sandra
No,
out there in Texas? Sorry, Laura. Have you been invited to the team profile? Do you remember? I can't hear you. So what we'll do is I'll look real quick here. See if we're on here. And we'll look at yours and we'll kind of look over. But that's how to set up a good profile, guys. And we can, look over 'em next week again. When everyone gets their profiles all set up. All right, well, here's your profile. We'll get on here. All right, so one, I want you to put in I see you said your mic's not working, but put in a good bio here about yourself, okay? You have all your specialties, which is good. We'll get you some more reviews and stuff. And then your service areas, go ahead and put your service areas in. All right, so we'll go on to the next. No, you're good. You're good. You go by Sandra or okay. You just have this the sign on. All right. Just on your Google sign on, it has completely understand. All right, so we'll go. Yeah, I know you're just joining. That's why we were looking over and kind of going over this and just help you look what you need to do. So you can go over on the right-hand side and click everything here.